Hello, welcome back to another video. So, I have moved. I've been in about 4 different places in the conservatory because I thought it's nice, cutesy background. Like I was sat over there with my little teapot, with my cute little plant and reading chair, but the sun was blasting down on me and I was like, no. Today is a video all around books. So if you don't enjoy reading or you don't read at all, this video probably isn't for you. But if you need some inspiration, you're in the right place. I thought we could talk about all books that I read last year that I really enjoyed. So the books that I thoroughly enjoyed. So overall, I read, I think, nearly 60 books. It's my escape. I absolutely love reading. I'm such a hater for going on my phone at night. And then also my attention span, believe it or not, to say I can read that many books, I really am not good at watching stuff. There's a real mixture of books here because I don't like to just stick to one genre. So if you're worried about, oh, is it just gonna be all thrillers, is it gonna be fantasy, like, no, we have got a bit of everything. I've got my little beverage. I've got a little teacup, which is so cute. Grab one, sit with me, and we are gonna talk books. So I am gonna start off with my Kindle reads because my Kindle's in front of me and you are balancing on books right now. I started off with the smaller version, which is the matcha green one. Can't quite remember what it's called, but now I have the Kindle Colour Soft because this was an investment than the original Kindles, the ones that are in black and white. I use this more than my phone. I take this everywhere I go. Like even when I'm going out in a bit, I will take this with me just in case. You really are thinking about getting a Kindle, definitely get the cheaper one to see how you get on. But I swear you read faster on a Kindle. And I was a bit worried about the size of this because I really did love how small my matcha one was. But this, it's brilliant. I just love it so much. Just an FYI, if you're a hater of Freedom McFadden, I'm really sorry, but we cannot be friends, number one. Number two, there's a good bunch of Freedom McFadden books because I read The Housemaid in January, absolutely loved it, read the whole collection, and then was utterly obsessed with most of her books. And I decided, I think in April time, I was just going to read all the books. So if you ever need a recommendation, I'm here to give them today. Because they are hit and miss, Freedom McFadden books, they are hit and miss. The first one is Never Lie. Believe it or not, I didn't read this as one of the first that I've read of her collection. I kind of left this one till last because I'm not being funny, but the cover is just not giving, I need to read that. Absolutely love this. The concept of it, the setting makes such a difference to me. If I'm not in love with the setting in a book, I can get over like a few bad characters, but the setting for me kind of makes it because I'm there, like I want to be there in the book. This is about a couple who want to move out and they go to like this manor where this therapist used to live and she's dead, she's long gone. And basically they all get snowed in, and when they turn up, the realtor isn't there and it's just them two and they're on their own. They start listening to tapes. The death of the therapist is a bit odd. I'm trying to figure out what went off. And the twist, Freedom McFadden always has a twist. So if you want something that's always going to have a little thing to it, I love this because of like the snow, the manor, just picturing being there was brilliant. The connection between the therapist and also the main characters was brilliant. Then one that I don't hear about enough, and I'm not sure whether people know that it's one of Freedom McFadden's books or whether I don't know, I just feel like it's missed, is Brain Damage. I thoroughly loved this book. This was a 5-starer for me. It's very different from anything I've ever read. It's a dual timeline, so you're in the past, then you're in the present. Quite emotional to read. I don't know if it was just me, but I thought it was quite deep because it almost felt like you was on this journey with the main character. And it's basically about this woman who has brain damage. She's going through I can't even say it. Oh my god, I can't say it. She's going through rehabilitation, trying to figure out how she ended up being shot in the head, and also like her husband's life, what he's doing, her new life she's gotten, you know, trying to work on who she is. Doesn't know what's happened to her, and she's having all these things filled in her head and she's trying to get her memory back. It's quite fun to read about her before, like who she was. She was very affluent, like in her life she was, you know, very successful, and then now she's like this really timid and vulnerable character. And then also at the end you see what she becomes. It does have that like not scary element to it, but it has a little bit of like, oh, do you know, that's a little bit odd. The Crash. So this one came out quite late last year. Bloody loved it. I thought it was so fun to read. I think I've read this in like a day. It was so good. About this woman, and she's pregnant, and she ends up breaking down at the side of the road. A man saves her. They end up going to their little lodge cabin type thing that they live in, and they say they're going to take her to the hospital. They put her in like this basement to look after her, and they won't ever let her leave. And the ending was just perfect, because sometimes you have all this build up with these thrillers, and sometimes the ending can just be a bit that. And I always find I prefer it in a thriller, the whole in-betweens, not the beginning or the end, like the middle. I always prefer the middle, because that's where like all the fun stuff happens. We've got Malibu Rising. I've had to put it on my Kindle because I actually can't find my physical copy anywhere, which I'm slightly concerned at, because that book, I don't know if I lent it to someone. I don't know, but Taylor Jenkins Reid, I've never been disappointed with a single book she's written, and I really want to read Atmosphere, if anyone knows like the books that she's written. It's very new, but it's a hardback, and yes, I could get it on my Kindle, but I just know that I'm going to enjoy it, and that's why I want to buy the book from a bookshelf. So I might just wait till, because I think it's this year in summer the paperback comes out. Malibu Rising is everything a 2000 girl would ever want. I so wish I could read it again without knowing what happens, because it is a beautiful story of like siblings, family, money. And what I love about her books is she has this whole narrative, she has these characters, these amazing settings, the excitement, the sadness, the fun, everything, but they always have like a deeper underlying meaning, and you don't realise that till you finish it. She is the writer of Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which we will talk about that very soon, and it's just amazing. I would say it is more of a summer read because it's more of a summer setting, but I read it, I think it was last spring, and I just love her books. This book is about a family who come from a life of luxury. Their dad is a movie star, or is he a singer? One of the two. It's like a family affair in Malibu, and it's also amazing and beautiful, and it just shows a downfall of how things can go when money gets lost. A very different type of book, which I think every girl in their 20s should read, but then also to be aware of the triggers within this book, because it is not a very fluffy book, but I also don't really like a fluffy book. I like real. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's a fiction novel, which Adelaide definitely gives. This book, I don't know why I read this. It was very on a whim. I just kind of didn't know what to read, so I saw this and I liked the cover. True telling of what can happen in every girl's 20s. Obviously, not every girl experiences the craziness of what Adelaide does. I just felt so related to it. I could laugh as well, because she is just a student at uni, and she is trying to navigate life. She ends up falling in love with a boy who is not interested in her in the slightest. He doesn't treat her very well, and I'm sure we've all been there, whether that's friendships or romantic. She's trying to understand that her self-destruct is from putting her energy and time into this man. There's loads of different things, like there's grief in there, there is addiction in here, and also there's some like graphic parts to it. Not graphic as in descriptive, but there's things that happen in this that are slightly upsetting. I do think definitely check the triggers before you read this. So back to Taylor Jenkins Reid, we have Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book needs a round of applause. I finished this in one whole day. I started it in the morning And I remember sitting at my boyfriend's house and he was like, "You're going to put that down." Not in a bad way, but he was like, "You're going to put that down." And I'm like, I can't. I was in the car, like, I'd not finished it yet. And I was saying, like, this is what happens and, like, it's crazy. And he was sat there, like, going, "Oh my God, like, what?" And I'm like, yeah, I know. It had a lot of shocking twists. All about this famous actress who she demands for a journalist to come in and write a biography about her. The journalist has not really got anywhere. She's confused as to why she's been chosen by Eveline. Section has a different husband. So you go through all of the husbands. How many reasons are we going to get through? And, like, is it going to be the same reason? Like, you always think of the typical divorce reasons, and she does go through those. But then you think, 7 times, like, how many times you go through this? But she does, and it's very authentic, and each reason is just like even crazier than the last one. Go through the whole process of her being an actress, what that's like, the pressures of being a woman from being young to when you're older, bearing children, everything. It is just stunning. Like, that is the only word I can describe this book. It is stunning. Next we have a little romance piece, which is Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I don't know if I can't remember if I spoke about this in my videos. In my newer videos, I know I haven't. But this book, if you need something to, like, set you up for the romance world, as someone who doesn't do cringe, who finds it really, really hard to read romance at the best of times, Pumpkin Spice Cafe was definitely one to beat. I've had this book for 2-3 years now, and I've always looked at it and thought, oh, I just don't want to read that. Like, everyone's reading that, and it can't be that good. Like, it is that good. It is that good. I love Laura Gilmore. I love her whole Dream Harbour series. It is brilliant. I prefer some more than others, which I'm going to show you the other one that I absolutely love. I haven't read the Gingerbread one and the Daisy Chain Flower Shop. I've read the Christmas Tree Farm, the Cinnamon Bookstore, the Strawberry Pancake House, and this one. And definitely the first one is the best. And I think you do kind of have to read them in order. I would personally. If you want to get the most out of the Dream Harbour series, definitely read them in order. Or, yeah, 100% would. Because the characters in this, which are Logan and Jeannie, they end up in all of the other stories. Like, they aren't main characters and you can read them as standalones, but I just think you're like, oh my God, like, I remember you. Do you know what I mean? It's like an old friend, and it's just fun. It's just fun. Anyway, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe is about a girl who she ends up taking over her cafe for her auntie, her auntie, and she ends up crossing paths with the farmer who he's not into the whole Dream Harbour life. Like, he doesn't like going to the meetings. He's not very sociable. And he ended up, like, having a love affair that just didn't go well. So then it kind of puts all the pressure on Gina to, you know, perform and be this person, not to hurt Logan's feelings. But they end up like rekindling. They end up getting together, and it's all very cute. So my other recommendation is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Quite a mouthful, but, you know, we got there. I just loved this one. I thought it was way more fun than the other ones I've read. I did like the Christmas Tree Farm, but I really didn't like the characters in it. I just thought they were, like, really mopey, and I just didn't get on with the couple in that one. A bit of a game. So this is the book. This girl, she's, like, getting to a certain age and she feels like she's not really done much with her life, and this boy kind of comes in and they end up going on different tasks and different things that they're going to do. So they go on, like, they go to the beach, and then they go to I think they go to the fair. I'm pretty sure they go to the fair. And they do all these, like, really nice things together, and they end up going on a boat and all these things. So it's really just fun to read. A series of dates that you get to go on with them. It's quite, like, popular with the women, and she don't want to go with him, and she's very, like, timid, and yeah. So that's kind of the vibe for that one. Now we're back onto Frida. So These are brand new, fresh books that I bought in the works because they were on a deal for 3 for £7.50, and I was like, gonna get them, because these are all the ones that I have on my list to buy. Because I have like I have a note on my phone of the books that I need to buy in physical. I'm really sorry for the really stunning sticker. I have very finely and delicately picked these out of all of the Freedom McFadden books. The first one we have is One by One. This book was just like every Netflix, Amazon thriller I could ask for. It's about a group of couples that go on holiday. They've got this caravan thing going off and they're on their way. They end up breaking down and they're in like the woodlands, and basically one by one each person disappears for their own different reasons. And you think like, how are they all going to disappear? And then you're trying to figure out like who was the one that's, you know, causing this in the group. Is it someone in the group? Is it someone in the woods? Like, we don't know. And it's just really, really fun to read. Next we have is Do Not Disturb. This book, oh my god, gave me all the Bates Motel but muted vibes. This was like not a crazy horror book. It's obviously a thriller. Main character on the run, and she ends up going to this motel and someone's died in the motel previously. So she's already kind of on edge. She's like found out all this information and she's like, oh my god, what's going on? So the weird things happen, like the owner is a bit odd, and then you get to find out about the characters and their history. Big statement to make, but this is actually my all-time favourite Freedom McFadden book. It is definitely Surrogate Mother. This, I need it in a different font. I need to read something like this again. If anyone is into Tyler Perry films that are directed by him, the thrillers that he does, the psychological thrillers, I think that's why I love Frida so much, because she just gives me the Tyler Perry vibes but in a book form. And this is very Tyler Perry coded. A successful woman, she has got a partner and she just doesn't have time to have a baby. And she ends up hiring this new assistant because her assistant, I think, fell down the stairs. Or something happens to her assistant. And she ends up hiring a new woman. She's very beautiful, you know, she's perfect, like she's stunning. She offers to be her surrogate mother. And then, obviously, her relationship with her husband ends up getting intertwined with the surrogate mother. Things start to get a bit weird. She starts seeing the true colours of the assistant and like her history and who she is. What I loved about this is there's so many little things that happen. That's my only thing I'll say to you. There's so many things that happen at the start of the book and throughout the book that all end up linking to the end, and I just loved that. I loved that when I just sat there and was like, oh my god, didn't think that was going to be brought back up. We have 2 books left. If you have stayed for this entire thing, you get a gold medal. You actually do get a gold medal. I'm so proud of you. So we have a non-fiction and a fiction. This book, I've never heard anyone talk about this book, but this book is crazy, psychologically messed up, crazy, and it makes my skin crawl at the thought of this whole concept. Like, it is just so good. So this one's a bit more darker, I would say. I wouldn't say horrific or anything like that. A guy goes missing on his stag do in like the woods. For so many years, all his friends are still trying to find him, and they end up finding something they aren't supposed to find, and it is very fight or flight. You're just constantly thinking, oh my god, how are they going to survive this? Like, what's going to happen next? Like, you just don't know what's coming. It says on the front, terrifyingly real. Like, this could happen to someone. And I think that's why it's so creepy and a bit like, oh. I think that's why, for a thriller, I do think it's a little bit darker, because it genuinely could happen in real life. And it's just brilliant. Last but not least is Dear Dolly. So everyone goes on and on about the Dear Dolly love one. And I have read that, and it is very good. But I really enjoyed this because it just had a bit of everything. Like, I can picture myself sat in the park reading this book and just being utterly like enthralled in it and just obsessed. it really resonated with a lot of the things I was going through at the time, and it also gave me a better outlook on things. And I liked how it was funny, it was witty, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it, because sometimes with self-help books or any non-fiction books, I really find them hard to finish. Like, it took me ages to finish the Miranda book. Like, it took me about 5 months. I think I started it in like September time, and I only just finished it a couple of weeks ago. And there's nothing wrong with the book. The book is insane. Like, it's brilliant. Like, it really helps me a lot. Jot things down from it. I think it's so good. But it's so difficult when you're reading your fiction books and you're like, yes, I want to know the story. And then you go to your non-fiction and you're just like, I don't know. Maybe I just need to read that one book and not have like 2 on the go. But anyway, so Dear Dolly, so it has everything from, I think it's friendship, dating, family, sex, breakups, body and soul. It really has everything in it. She gives you almost the answers, and there's not any of her answers where I think, oh God, I don't agree with that. I really did not feel like that at all. I think she's just really clever. I really want to read her book called Ghosts, because I just see it everywhere and it just looks a bit of me, and I've read the blurb and it sounds a bit of me. So definitely need to get Dolly on the cards a bit more this year, because she's just brilliant. But I hope that you enjoyed my recommendations. This year we are going for a very complete different vibe. I have gone from so many different types of books this year. We've got a bit more fantasy. We're still in the thriller grind. Do love a thriller. A lot of the books I've read this year I've not particularly enjoyed. To say I've read like 20 books, I think there's only 4 or 5 where I've gone, wow, love that. If you've got any book recommendations, pop them down in the comments, give it a like as well so I know that you've enjoyed the video. And then also, if you want to add me on Instagram, if you want to add the magazine, we can always have a chat on there, and you can see even more content than this. And anything else to add? Add me on Goodreads, add me on Fable, join the book club, give recommendations, let's talk books, let's just talk films, everything that you're interested in. Because that is literally what the YouTube is all about. I'll see you soon for another video. Bye.